Welcome, everybody. Good afternoon, and welcome on today's webinar about the recap of Q3. Let me just wait for a few seconds for everybody to hop in so that we can get started right away. Feel free to mention in the chat that you can hear and see me well. You can use the emoticons just to give me a thumbs up so I know everything works properly. I see that a lot of people are coming in already, so that's nice. Let us just wait for a few seconds and then we head off straight away. I will already start by introducing myself. Let me quickly share my screen. There we go. There. I think we have some people hearing me well, so that's nice. Welcome, everybody. Today at the webinar of Q3, we have launched a lot of new different features over the last few months, and today we'll explaining all about them. My name is Dewi. I'm Customer Success Manager at Leadinfo and will be providing this webinar today. My role within the company is to make sure that everybody who uses our software does it with its full benefits and can use it optimally. So that's also the reason why we're hosting this webinar today. All right, so forget about cold outreach. At Leadinfo, we don't believe in cold outreach. We believe in everything based on intent. So then you want to know all about your prospects, personalize their messages, and based on that, you can get higher conversion rates. Therefore, the last few things that we've built are all made to facilitate this intent. Therefore, you'll see a lot of different new features that will make sure that you know who to contact and that based on their activities, you can eventually convert them to new clients. This is all what's new. It's quite a big list, and we won't go into detail for all of these different features, but I wanted to make sure that you guys all have an overview of everything that has been added over the last few months. So you will see things such as the Google Analytics 4 integration, but also different small CRM rules that will help you to automate your sales follow-up and integrate with your own CRM system that you're using. For those who just hopped in the last few minutes, my name is Devi. And of course, we will also record this webinar just as all of our other webinars, which will you receive afterwards. So take a look at this whole list. There are a lot of new features and probably a few that will be relevant for you as well. The first thing that we've launched is segments. And segments are built to create a clear overview of all the leads and to make sure that you can filter on those which are relevant for you to follow up, to put your time and effort in. There are a lot of different rules, and you will see them over here, on which you can set up these segments, and these will become the basis for your automation. So here you see the first flow, and you also see where these segments take place. So first you have the recognition. This is something that happens within Leadinfo and what our software provides for you. So all the companies that you see in your inbox are the ones who are visiting your website. Next is where the qualification heads up. And this is the part where you create those segments. And the segments will be built based on the characteristics or the behavior that has been shown for these visitors and which will make sure that they're relevant for you. The third part is automation. And this is where you use these segments as the basis for your triggers, for your tags, but also for your automation to CRM or communication systems. So this is the first part of Leadinfo where segments will definitely be beneficial to implement when you're for example, setting this up for your sales colleagues, but also when you're working through all of the leads yourself. For all of these different functions, we also added some use cases to make sure that you understand the benefits of implementing it and also when it is relevant to use this feature. This is the first use case. So this is for when you're a marketing manager using Leadinfo and setting it up for your sales colleagues. What your responsibility is you would like to fill the sales pipeline with qualified leads for your sales colleagues. But these will come with a few challenges. The first one is you have multiple sales reps, and they're all responsible for different regions in which you guys focus on. This could also be that there's a lot of traffic, and therefore it's quite difficult to navigate it through. And lastly, as of course for marketing, you wish to have a great handoff of your marketing qualified leads towards those sales qualified leads. So how would you set up smart segments to challenge this use case? I'll show you. Let's dive into it together. Let me head off to the portal. Once you're in the inbox, at the bottom left, you will see the option to add segments. You can click at the plus sign to add a new segment. And if you enter add filter, then you'll see all the different options to make your filters. These could be based on characteristics of the company, but also on the behavior they've shown, and lastly, on the way that they've entered your website. In this case, as being a marketing manager with sales colleagues who are responsible for different regions, I'd like to add a filter based on these regions. So I have a colleague who's responsible for the Benelux area, a colleague who's responsible for the Nordics, and one for the DACH region. So therefore, this one will be for my colleague for the Benelux, and I can apply this filter. So now it will only, if I click on it, will only filter out those leads who are from either the Netherlands, Belgium, or Luxembourg. Now you'll see that I have two options. I have the AND function or the OR function. If, for example, there would be multiple regions which this colleague would be responsible for, I could click on OR and add another region. So then if a company would be, for example, from the Benelux area, or let us just take another one, say the APAC, then in this case, if it would be one of these, then it will also be added to this filter. However, this is not relevant for me. We focus on one region, and for this region, I also want to filter out the companies which are marketing qualified and those which are sales qualified. We make this distinction because not every lead is ready to be followed up by sales. For example, if there would be a company that's interesting for you, but it only made a visit to your homepage for 5 seconds and then left, then it's quite likely that they're looking for something else, and that's the reason why they left your website. And therefore, it's time-consuming and not very high conversion rates if you would let sales follow up on this. Therefore, it's important to segment those out, filter out those who are not yet ready to be called or be contacted by your sales colleagues. Therefore, what we do is I add a new rule saying AND, and that is based on the fact that they have a larger session on the website. For me, total page count on the session should be at least 5. Now, a company will meet my segment if it's from the Benelux area and if it has visited at least 5 pages. I can save this segment and then I have two options. I can save it either for myself or for all of my colleagues in the team. If I would save it for myself, then only when I log in into this Leadinfo account, I'll be able to select this segment. If you would save it for everybody, then all of your colleagues can make use of it. Especially when you're from marketing and you're setting up these segments for other colleagues, it's easiest to set them up for everybody in the team. I provide a name to it and then I save it. And now you will see my segment over here. Once I click on it, it will only show me those companies which are relevant within my segment. Next up is email tracking. Email tracking is a new feature that we hope to launch probably tomorrow, but definitely this week. It took a bit longer than we were expecting at the beginning because of our extension being quite long in review with Microsoft, but eventually they approved us, so we'll go live this week. With email tracking, you can gain a lot of different insights based on the effectivity of your emails. And this will extend the flow that we just started with segments and help you to follow your leads, to follow the journey, and to convert your website visitors to new clients. So how does it work? We have 2 extensions, one for Google Chrome for Gmail and one for Outlook for Microsoft. You can download this extension and add an email tracker to your emails. Once these emails are opened or clicked through, you'll be able to see this within the portal. And also, once people use the links in your email to enter your website, we will add this to the website visits at the page views. So you will see exactly which person linked through and with email address. Let me show you a bit how it works. So this is the step in the journey where email tracking will become valuable, especially from the sales point of view. Once you have finished that automation part, so you set up your segments and you made sure that the segments will automatically start your sales flow, such as sending it through your CRM with a task to follow up, or you could, of course, give them tags in Leadinfo to follow them up from the portal itself. But the next step is, if you've done so, then of course you can use the portal to send out emails. It works like this. You just click on one of the pages that are relevant for you, you scroll down to the bottom, and there you find all the contact details. Over here, you can search for the correct department. In our case, we need somebody from marketing. And then over here, you can easily copy the email address and send out an email to your decision maker. Well, what happened next? As soon as this email is sent out, we're going to track it. So that means if that person who received the email opens it, you'll see it. But also, if that person links through to your website from that email, it will be shown in the page views. It's over here. So what you will see is either one of these two things. So you will see the top one is a link through to the website. So here you will see that based on the source of the email tracker, somebody went on our homepage. And at the very top, you can also see which email address has done this action. So this gives you a great specific email address, which can help you to target the correct person and to get in touch with the right person to offer your service or your products. The other option is the one you see at the bottom. And this is where you can see in the page views as well that somebody clicked through on a link, opened it, and you'll see the email itself as well. So here we've sent out someone a contact, we've sent out an email, and the contact is connected to that company. So then you'll be able to see that this was opened 2 times and clicked through even twice. Then we have a very important use case. So when is this necessary? If you want to follow up on your warm leads and you want to make sure that you get on track of their whole customer behavior, so that you can have the whole journey visible for you and make sure that you step in at the very right moments to convert them. Because there are a few challenges. With Leadinfo, you don't know who made the visit to your website. This is because we only track the IP addresses and work with publicly available databases. However, there will be some companies, larger enterprises, that have a lot of different employees. So it's quite difficult to reach out to the correct person who knows that they're searching for a specific solution and who is the decision maker in that case. So this is a blind spot in who interacts with their sales emails. You can also, when you're currently working with Leadinfo, you'll probably do some email follow-ups as well. But that still has a very short blind spot where you don't know what happens afterwards. And this is what email tracking will give you insights into. So how can you make this visible in Leadinfo? It works with the segments. So you can set up a second filter to filter out those leads who come from your email tracker. It works like this. So for the same part at your segments, you just create a new segment saying these are email tracker leads, so sales qualified leads. And then you have the rules on medium, you can select email tracker. So then you have a segment of those companies who made visits through your email, so which were recognized and registered by our email tracker. This will provide you with the whole journey of the customer behavior. Then we have another features. These are some new rules that we added to the triggers. There are quite a few. You will see them over here. And these will all help you to not only send information to your CRM system, but if you're working with a CRM, we can also retrieve your data to make sure that you can use them to filter out your leads. So for example, you have to connect it to your CRM. What this is you can have an extra option in your triggers saying if a company is connected to my CRM, I want to send them out a specific tag. A very important one in this case is the filter on deal stage, because that allows you to identify the different types of companies on your website within Leadinfo as well. So here we have another use case. In this option, there's a sales manager and they want to find new ways to, new opportunities to expand their business and help their team to work as efficiently as possible. There are some few challenges for the sales manager. One is that there's high traffic, including existing companies who often visit their website. So these are clients that they already work with, so current customers. They currently also have quite a colored Leadinfo inbox, so everything comes in and they don't really know what is what. To make sure that you can spot out these nice upsell opportunities among existing companies, it's good to make sure that you can have specific information in your Leadinfo environment about what type of website companies make your visits to your website and how they are known for your organization. So this works with the trigger feature. And if you have your CRM system already connected, you will see all the different options to trigger based on your CRM properties. When you create a new trigger, you will find them all at the bottom of the trigger rules. So here you find all the options, and one was the option to trigger based on deal stage. So what you can do to make sure that sales is able to spot the upsell opportunities, but also has a clear overview of what existing companies do and what actual new prospects are on their website, is to add a trigger based on this deal stage. It works as follows. You have the rule based on deal stage, and here we open up all the deal stages that you have in your CRM environment. So for us, you will find them here. We work with the trial period, but we also have existing customers and we have expiring customers. These you will all find in these pipelines. So for example, when somebody is a current customer, they will have this status. And what you can do is for these type of companies, you can provide tags to them to make sure that it's visible in Leadinfo what type of customer is visiting your website. In this case, if a company enters your website and we see in HubSpot that it has the deal stage active customer, then I'd like this company to get the tag active customer. But what's a great way to add is also to remove some tags. And these will be the tags that you create for all your other pipelines. So you will have one trigger each for your pipeline. So this is the one saying pipeline active customer. But with all the other pipelines, I wanted to remove these tags. I'll show you later why. So these could be, for example, a closed trial user, but also an expiring customer. I can enable this and save it. And then we'll do the same for other pipelines that we have, such as the trial user pipeline. That would be this one. And for this pipeline as well, I will add the tag trial user and we'll remove all the other tags. So this one will look like this. So what this does is as soon as there would be a company that visits your website and they're, for example, in our trials period, then of course they would get the trial user tag. But if this company would come back to our website in, let's say, a week or 3 or 4, then they're no longer a trial user anymore. And HubSpot will have registered that they have become an active customer. In that case, what will happen with the triggers is that our software will automatically remove the tag trial user, and that will be changed with the tag customer. So that's a way in which it is able to update itself based on the properties and the information that you have within your CRM system. Next up, we have a lot of new integrations. Currently, we have around, I would say, 65, maybe even 70 different integrations in which you can connect Leadinfo to. So these are CRM systems, communication systems, but also analytical tools in which you can connect Leadinfo data to automate your sales system or gain marketing insights. These are the ones that have been launched in the last 3 months. In case you're using Leadinfo and you check our integrations, but you missed the one that you'll be working with, feel free to let us know. We have data developers making these integrations every day, and we're happy to check out to see if it's possible to integrate with your CRM system as well. You will find here Mocapen, Beatrix, Semlog. Those are all different CRM systems. But for those who are familiar, we also have Google Analytics 4 and Matomo. These are our new type of integrations in which we allow you to automatically analyze data from Leadinfo within these tools. So for marketeers who love to analyze this data all in one place, I would definitely recommend to set up these integrations. For those who are not familiar with Matomo, it's actually quite a similar type of integration, such as a type of tool as Google Analytics. However, it's hosted within Europe, and therefore for companies, it's a bit more GDPR compliant since they host all their data in Europe. You can just simply integrate with the tool that you're currently using, and then you have two options. You can send out custom dimensions. So those are all the data points that we have within Leadinfo. And then you can analyze your data and compare it to, for example, your analytics data. And you can decide this yourself within your field mapping. If you go to the settings, you will find an overview of all the different integrations. Navigate to the bottom left and search for the integration you'd like to connect with. In this case, we'll check out Matomo and Google Analytics. So here you'll find all of them, and you'll see that Matomo is, is also connected. So they're probably all here. If you click on Google Analytics, in a few steps you can make the connection. You can set it up. You have to select the right property based on all of your Leadinfo domains. So if you click on one, you can connect to the correct property, and then you can save it. If you go back to your overview, then that's where you decide what data points are sent through. So here you can click on the field mapping, for example, this one, and you will see all the custom dimensions from analytics at the right, and on the left side, you will see the Leadinfo data points that we can send to Google Analytics. If you click on Add New Mapping, then you can decide all the information that you'd like to send to. For example, if you want to have the country. And then on the right, you can select the correct dimension within Google Analytics. In case you don't have a correct dimension yet, just create a new custom dimension within Analytics, and then you can retrieve it from here. What's good to know is Analytics does have a limit of 35 custom dimensions. So the amount of dimensions that we can send to your Analytics environment depends on the amount that you already have active in there. Well, once this is saved, then all the data is automatically sent through. We'll push this as a Leadinfo event, and from there on, you can just set up all the analysis that you like within either Matomo or Google Analytics. Those are the biggest new features that we've launched in the last few months. However, there are a lot of small new releases added to the portal, which I've also want to take a few minutes to show them to you. The first one is changed within the contact information. I already quickly showed you, but let's get back to that. If you go to the inbox, then for all these companies visiting your website, let's just take us, you will see a lot of contacts, employees working at that organization. However, there probably also be a decision maker, which is always relevant for you to reach out to. We work with a lot of different marketing agencies, so most of the time we need the marketing manager in our case. So what's new is that you can select the correct the correct department for the one that you would like to get in touch with. It's just a way to make your life easier within the portal. Another one is the export feature. If you navigate to the export feature, you will see that the layout is a bit different. We have now added the option to add columns at the very bottom. But what you can also do is use those segments that you created at the very beginning for your exports. So you can fully use them through the whole portal to set up your automation. So if you have a specific segment which needs to be retargeted for LinkedIn, simply search for your segment, for example, this one, and click on the export button. A third option is over here. Back to the inbox. If you scroll down, you also see that the page views have a new layout. We show different sessions, and once that email tracker is live, you will also see here the email clicks added, so then you have the email address over here. But it's just making it a bit more easier to understand that you have these different sessions. You will see where they come from, and we'll show you the recording button at the bottom left instead of at the top. Once you will see a lead that's relevant for you, so you will see a company in which you think this is the one I'd like to follow up, but it's, for example, in the region which is not for you, but for your colleague, then we've added a new feature in which you can easily share hot leads with your colleagues. You can find this as the bottom right on a company profile. Next to the option to export this as a PDF, which already has been there for a while, you can also click on Share with Colleague. You can select the correct colleague based on the users in your profile, and then you can click on Share, and an email will automatically be sent out to that right colleague to notify them of the fact that an interesting lead has been visiting their website. Then we have another new addition to the triggers, and this is especially relevant for those marketeers who set it up for their sales colleagues. Such as in the first use case where we had multiple sales colleagues, but they were all responsible for one region. We also advise you to work with zip codes, to trigger with zip codes. Because with these zip codes, you can easily say, if it's one of these zip codes, then it means that it's the responsibility lies within my colleague, Millicent. So then I can set up the tag Millicent for her. This is this rule. What we've changed to this rule is in the past, you could just add a zip code over here saying, okay, this one, and then add a new rule to say, okay, maybe there's another zip code also relevant. Now what we've added is you can paste multiple zip codes within one rule. So if you have an Excel file with the zip codes, which you already work with, then it's quite easy now to just copy everything from the file, paste it over here, and that will decrease the manual work that needs to be done to set this up for the correct colleagues. Then there's one more small feature that we've added, and that is the one with integrations. We've added this to all the different integrations that we work with. So if you head up to one of the integrations that you have installed, you will see a refresh button. You will find it, for example, in the field mapping. So here, if you set up your field mapping, and for example, you have the branch field mapping, but you don't have a property yet for that branch, then what we advise you is to set up the property within your CRM system. But sometimes it takes a while for that to synchronize again with Leadinfo. We want to make everything as smooth as possible so that you don't have to wait for all that sync to be done and have to go back to the portal. So now there's this button. You can click on that, and then we will refresh all the properties that you have to get you the latest version with that new just created property in there as well, so that you can easily select it. You find this button at the field mapping, but for example, also when you manually want to connect a company. If you click on a company, and you want to connect this with your CRM, now here, it could be, for example, that the company was just 5 minutes ago created in your organization within your CRM system. Then if you would look it up, it could be that it doesn't find it yet because it's not yet the latest version with the sync. So now you also have the button here, and then we make sure that we retrieve the latest version so that you can easily connect it to the correct company. These are the things that were launched in the last few months. However, also for the rest of the year, we won't sit still. There will be a lot of different features that are coming up, and I want to highlight a few big ones. The first one is the Leadinfo contact integration. We know that a lot of users have been waiting for this for a while, to be able to export your contact information, to send out information based on contact level to your CRM system as well. Well, this is something that we're working hard for to realize, and will definitely be launched this year as well. Another thing is the automated follow-up. We've gone through the customer journey together, starting from the automation and the qualification with your segments until the follow-up with email tracking and the conversion of into a new client. However, the follow-up is now manually. We hear a lot of marketers who work with Leadinfo and would like to have an automated follow-up as well. And this is something that we're currently working on to build. So what you can do is you can automatically send out emails or LinkedIn campaigns within Leadinfo, within the portal, based on your segments, your target audiences, and based on behavior that companies show on your website. This is going to be a huge addition to our portal. Will probably be named Leadinfo campaigns. And as soon as there's more information on this, we'll host webinars specifically about this feature as well. And then we have another new thing, which is the spot of high intent. We added an algorithm. We're creating it right now so that we can spot those leads which, based on the algorithm, are specifically interesting for you. So if we see a lead that is very close to your organization and based on the profile that your current customers have, we feel like this is a hot one, then we're going to show that to you. This is something that will also be launched in the next quarter, so in Q4 of this year, which will allow you to filter out, next to using your own segments, to use Leadinfo intelligence as well to filter out those important leads for you. My colleague Guus has been in the chat to help you out with all your questions, but feel free to let me know if there are some things that pop up for you. I'm happy to help out with all the questions that are there of those new features, but also those things that are coming up. Let me see a few people typing. When are you planning to release the new features of Leadinfo? Those 3 features that I've shown you just now are all on the roadmap for the next quarter of this year. So our hope is that they will definitely be launched before the end of 2023. Let me see. I don't see any new questions coming in. I'll just be here waiting for a few seconds to see if there are other questions. In case you want to ask them later to us, feel free to reach out via support@leadinfo.com, and we're happy to help. For now, I'd like to thank you all for your presence here today on this webinar. I hope you've enjoyed it, learned a lot, and that you'll be able to automate your follow-up and to use Leadinfo even more than that you were already doing. Thank you all. Wish you a lovely day.